All right, guys, so I apologize for not posting in a few days. I actually spent the last couple of days doing a bunch of things that, you know, not really fun to film, not really interesting to watch, but we needed to get it done. One of which, finishing setting up the lift. And as you can see, the Civic is on the lift, raised up, and it's kind of crazy to see.
I know.
This is their first time seeing this.
This is the first car on the lift, and it's pretty exciting because.
Should we raise it all the way up so they can see how tall this thing goes?
Ooh, we could.
Let's do it. All right. And this is the extra tall. Brian, go into there. Try to work on the rear end of this thing. I'm 6'4", and I fit so comfortably under here. This is the greatest thing ever. It like still is weird to me. Vent pack, extra tall, so badass. So, on top of getting this all wired up, running all the wires, doing all that tedious shit, we finally did something to the Civic that we've been putting off for a long time, and that is actually reinforcing all of the holes that we cut in the rear frame rails. We had a big ass hole here for the front lower control arm. Then we had this U cut in the frame right here for our camera arm. Beat some metal in here, welded it all up. Made a nice little U joint here. Made a pedestal for the front subframe mount, and it came out really good. I'm really happy with it. It took us, it wasn't hard, but it just took a really long time. So yeah. We just needed to bang this the heck out because today we're trying to finish up the rear end. Well, not finish it, but get a huge portion done. So the last thing we need to do is make a mount for the front trailing arm. And more importantly, make a custom strut top for the coilover. Because unfortunately, the factory Civic strut top isn't gonna work. We actually have to raise it up and change the angle of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have enough travel for us where it sits now because it's just too short, and it sits at the wrong angle. The coilover's gotta sit like this, it's sitting like this, so the top hat is just pissed off and doesn't work right.
Yeah, even with a pillow ball, it's still kinda...
It's super low. So what we're gonna basically be doing today is cutting out this whole piece right here, and then shoving this pipe in there, putting a custom top hat on it, and making it the right height and the right angle that we need to work with the S13 rear end. And we've been trying to do this for weeks. This pipe was not easy to get. This is not like a standard, you would think this was like a standard thing, 5-inch, like 1/8-inch pipe. Had to special order it from where?
Kentucky?
Kentucky. I don't know why Kentucky, but it came from Kentucky.
Kentucky's got the pipe, all right.
Yeah, there we go. You guys just needed to know that. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, so we're just gonna jump right into it.
All right, bring this down to normal human height.
You want to cut a hole?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
We need something like this.
I think that's, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So we got our hole, we got our pipe.
Boom. And then boom.
That's basically how it's gonna sit, obviously without this. Cool, so now that both sides are actually cut out, we have to put the rear subframe back in the car so we can figure out what angle we need for the coilover and the top hat. So we got it all bolted in, and now seeing the subframe in there with all the holes that we actually cut in the chassis filled in, it looks way more official. It no longer looks like this thing we just threw in there. Look how official this looks. It looks at home in there now.
Heck yeah.
That's so cool. Wow, look at that. We figured we should do the trailing arm, which also is like the caster arm first, because that will lock in our, basically the center of where the wheel is gonna be in the arch, so we know exactly what angle we need. So earlier I was being proactive and actually made a jig that told us exactly where the trailing arm bolts in the factory location. So I took this random rod, welded it to a bunch of stuff, and it tells us that it lands literally exactly right there. Like we literally have just enough room.
Yeah, which is perfect.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the piece we cut off the subframe right here that actually holds the trailing arm. We're gonna cut the end off of it, make it fit the same shape as the frame rail, which is not pretty, and bolt up the trailing arm.
Heck yeah, I'm super happy about this. That was a really good idea to make a jig for us. Yeah.
Come on, you got this. Just eyeball it, right?
You're not wrong, but it's a lot of thinking before we...
Yeah, it's a crazy shape. Look at all of Brian's provision cuts. Just trimming little by little.
We are getting there.
Looks pretty good there,
We're
boy.
getting there.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Now, I feel like I should have made a statement about this way earlier, but this mount obviously used to be on the subframe, but it would have been so intrusive on the frame, we decided to not cut a hole in the frame for it, but instead just remake the mount on the chassis, which we've been doing.
Many minutes later.
All right, so 1.5 million cuts and flappers later, Brian got the piece to fit amazing. It hugs it so well. No gap, Brian.
Look underneath and shit.
Damn, this thing, man, that thing fits good. All right, so we had this thing jacked up in our ride height area. This is essentially where it's gonna live, right? So what's pretty cool about this whole thing is when you lower a 240, it kind of messes up all the suspension geometry. I mean, a car is designed to sit like this its whole life, and you slam it, and all the control arms are now like this. So it messes everything up. So what happens when you slam these things is the caster arm, or this tension rod, whatever you want to call it, it actually binds really bad on the subframe of the knuckle. Since we're fully recreating where it bolts and geometry to everything, we're actually able to relieve a lot of that pressure by mounting it in a location that's more comfortable for it. And this thing might actually drive pretty decent. So it's a cool little feature here. Oh. Ready to tack her up?
Tack it in before I get tired of holding this thing.
All right. All right, so look how cool this is. So both mount points are in line with each other. There's no binding at all. All the arms sit so comfy. This thing's gonna love being at this height.
I know. Nah, man.
Right? All right, so the real question is, will the coilover fit?
Oh, why not? I don't know how to get it in there.
Can lower that.
It's right on my arm.
So we're hitting the camber arm, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's sick. All right, so it looks like we have a kind of a big issue, small issue. So when we were test fitting where the coil sits, we didn't have the trailing arm in yet. So we didn't know where the center of the wheel actually fit, or we didn't know the rotation of the knuckle. When we guessed it, we thought the whole assembly rotated forward a little bit more, and which means we thought we had more clearance on the camber arm, which gave us more of an angle on the coilover. After obviously installing it and putting it where it should sit, it's clear that to use the factory hole location, we can't, because it's actually gonna hit the arm really, really, really bad. So we're gonna actually have to bring the coilover back about, what did you say, like an inch or so?
Yeah, compared to what we wanted it?
Yeah, I'd say
Just over an inch.
Just over an inch, so we have clearance on the camber arm, which makes things a little bit more complicated because now it just doesn't fall in this nice little hole right here. We actually have to cut into here and then plate all this. Another speed bump, but it's the last speed bump we gotta do to finish up the whole rear. So we're gonna have to cut all the way back, put that whole tube in, reinforce it a little bit more annoyingly, but we got this. It's not too bad. It's the last thing we gotta do, so I'm not too upset about it. It would have been too easy, you know? Well, you know, this was the one thing that I thought, like, so this whole rear end, right? We've had to modify nothing just worked.
The whole car. I mean, did the front strut towers work?
I would say it worked pretty well. You know, like nothing in it worked at all. Like nothing we were like, okay, yeah, that's gonna do us well. I thought the strut tower, like, tube location was gonna work. You know, slide the pipe and weld it around, call it a day. Of course, even this, it bites us to the very last end. 240 rear end, it's gonna feel great. Just doesn't like to be in here.
Who'd have thought?
Who would have thought? Well, I'm gonna make a bigger mark with this blade.
All right, good luck. I'm going out of here.
Oh. This is where we thought it was gonna lay. That's where it has to lay. Not bad, B. Good guess.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We want this thing to sit basically right there. Mm-hmm. You happy with that? Because I'm happy with that.
Yes, suspension travel.
That'll be nice to have. If you guys are a little confused right now about the coilover situation, so I actually got these like no-name shitty eBay coilovers from a friend just for test fitting purposes. I haven't shown it on the channel yet, but I actually have a set of BCs. So I actually have a set of BC DR series coilovers right here. So this is like one of my favorite upgrades that I'm doing to the S chassis for next season. These are the coilovers that LZ runs on everything, and he literally raves on about them constantly. So I just had to try them out. So I am more pumped to feel these things than I think anything about that chassis next season. So we're getting BCs for this car because that's what it deserves, right, B?
For that car, for this car.
For this car. This car deserves to be, maybe not, DRs would be cool, but I'm not trying to put.
It at least deserves some BCs, right?
Exactly. So we're just gonna use the DRs for test fitting because they actually fit way better than no-name ones because these things are like fat and bulky. The BC ones fit really clean, so thank God I have those.
Yeah, a little bit more modern engineering, actually. We need a 7-inch rough cut.
I got you.
And that's not a lie.
Rough cut.
That's a true 7-inch.
My middle name's Rough Cut. All right, B, do it for me.
Did it work?
Try it out. Nice.
It worked.
See that?
No. Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, what a magnet. Nice. So it looks like we can't get our new strut tower to sit far enough back. So what we're gonna do is actually notch it and sit it on our new rail, which is literally right there. So we're probably gonna cut a square out of it for it to sit on that notch. It'll make sense in a second. All right, check it out. We'll go in night mode. Right here, you can see we actually notched it so it sits flush on the frame rail. See how it sits flush with it? It's definitely a weird looking piece and it fits interesting, but the coilover sits in it really comfy, but we do enough room that we'll have no issues in the future. All right, so you know how this sits inside the car just like this? Basically gonna cut this big arch out of it so it doesn't just look like there's a giant pipe just sticking inside the arch right there.
Yeah, I mean, once we're done, it'll look like it's, you know, well integrated.
Yeah, just give us a moment, all right? I got this. I'll cut this and yeah, no one wants to see that. See you soon. All right, B, show them how it's done. Yeah, dude, that looks, that's presentable. That's a lot better. All right, so next up is something I want to show off. So this is very similar to what we did for our front strut tower. Brian actually had one of his good friends make us a pretty cool custom piece.
So just like the front, we opted for a 2-layer scenario for our strut top, and this one I'm gonna plug weld together because I forgot to resistance spot weld them today. Like so.
Pretty cool piece. And our coilover, of course, will just bolt straight to that.
Yeah, might as well do it now.
You looking, B? We gonna blow a strut tower or what?
No, we're good to go, brother.
Dude, that thing looks so cool. That plate's so gangster.
It's like a
Love that.
throwing star.
One more time. That's so sick. All right, time to tack it in there. All right, test fitter on there. I mean, it shouldn't fit any different, but you know.
It's perfect.
Give it a nice spin.
It's late.
Dude, that's a strong magnet. That's a heavy piece of steel. Oh, Brian!
That freaking woke me up a little bit, huh? I got bolted up tight.
Ready? Night mode.
12 millimeter.
Okay. If we knew this from the beginning, we could cut it a little bit tighter. Yep. How we looking? How we looking? The fitment is fire. Yes.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
That'll do.
All right, let's weld it.
Yeah, let's weld her in there.
Yeah. Let me see. Let the people see.
Nice. We have to go with night mode. The low light on this camera sucks. There we go.
She's in there.
She's in there.
All right, we got it tacked in the tight areas like you see, and we're gonna hammer this back down and hammer this back down until it fits flush.
Yeah.
And we'll finish welding.
And then figure out how to reinforce this whole thing. It's kind of funny how like just the factory strut tower is just some skimpy ass metal, you know?
Yeah, that's
I mean, I think we've noticed that about the whole theme of this build. Like, this is a unibody car, right? I would have never guessed how thin, how rinky-dink all of this stuff is, you know?
It's all about layers and surface area, pal.
That's all it is. Let's get back to welding. All right, so we threw the camera down real quick because it's kind of a two-man job. We did a lot of hammering and a lot of tacking, and Brian was able to get a lot of the factory metal to conform to our new strut tower. Even though we cut it super rough, It looks like we're gonna be able to weld a lot of it together, which is awesome. So the whole back fits really well. The front hugs are pretty decent. Obviously, we have to fill that gap because that's the hole that we thought we were gonna use. What's up, B?
What's up?
But besides that, I mean, it looks pretty good. Not as bad as I thought. And it's really fitting to like our whole new rail and everything. All right, so my goal today was to fully bolt up one corner of the rear suspension. And though we didn't finish technically, because I still got to finish a lot of welding and reinforcing all of that, it's together enough that it can support its own weight.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right.
We'll find out, right? Oh! I didn't hear any cracks. No, it's not under a lot of load, but there she is. The whole left side of this car, the whole left side, is officially S13.
Yeah, with dual caliber.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Oh man, it looks like there's so much more going on now that it's all in there. A lot of planning got to this point.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, look how crazy this looks. Once this is all painted in the underbody, it'll look real good, trust me. But I gotta weld this up, obviously, that's not too big of a deal. Looks like we could probably beat the top of this metal in enough to actually touch it. It's up to here. So literally all we have is like this half moon that we have to fill in, which isn't bad. Now the fun part is going to be able to mimic the other side. Identical. Got this. So just like always, we made a huge mess. Yeah. This has been the biggest, messiest project ever, hasn't it?
It has.
Dude, it's nuts. Oh my God. All right, well, that's super cool looking. This whole thing is just, that's a vibe, man. That's it. Nice work. So we had a late start, but we got it done.
Yeah, it's been exciting today. It's been full of ups and downs. You guys might catch that vibe for the video.
Yeah.
We're up right now.
Yeah, we're up.
It's good to end on a high note.
Yeah. Right? Well, I can't wait till like, we've had so many videos on this god dang rear end, and I feel like every time it's just us just trying to grind, because this stuff takes forever.
It does.
I can't wait till we can do some like more fun in the bay type stuff, just like chilling. I got a bunch of stuff planned for the S13. I don't know if you guys want to see S13 video, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
They do want to see that. I know that.
And we gotta work on the E36, don't we? That's a thing.
Still gotta finish painting freshly shaped bay.
Yes, easy peasy.
Got plenty of work to do on the S13. My E46 is probably a piece of crap right now.
Well, you haven't figured out what you want to do with it yet.
Yeah, I have. I want to make it more of a piece of crap. Drive it really hard.
Right,
I want to make it nice. Just drive it.
I think the only thing we have on the list for Bri this season is coilovers.
Yeah, that's all I really need. Coilovers.
Maybe some cams we'll throw in there.
Cams would be really nice. Maybe a turbo.
Nah, you'd hate it.
Yeah,
nah, you'd like it, but if you...
I would like it until it broke, and then I'd say, why did I ever do this to myself?
And that's how it goes. So, all right, well, I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope you guys are stoked the lift actually works, because I know this is huge news. I mean, it's crazy seeing this.
Now you guys have nothing to complain about.
Oh, no, there's plenty...
The new thing, the roast chicken.
No, don't say that. There's plenty to complain about still, but check it out. It's so cool. All right, I'm going to stop rambling on. You guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content tomorrow. We'll see you again.
Have a great night. Peace.